Okay guys, Saturday and my first time actually speaking to the camera this week, which is quite late to be honest for the Boston vlog. And the reason behind that, guys, is that literally this week has been very focused. So every time I've been driving to sessions or driving back from sessions, I've been sort of just trying to get my mind right and trying to get focused, trying to suck in and enjoy the experience. And it's hard sometimes when you, like, I don't know, I just haven't felt as like I want to record stuff, and I think that if you've experienced making videos for YouTube, you can probably totally relate to this, in terms of you'll have like your YouTube days and your like fuck YouTube days. And I constantly share my story, obviously on my IG story. I share my story on my IG story, but I don't always consciously want to vlog and get the camera out and record, a long snippet of me chatting. So today I felt like doing it, and two, it's Saturday and I've got to get some footage to compile, because I'm actually going to start not forcing myself, but doing them daily to sort of lead up into the stage, because obviously we're 6 days out now, pretty much, if you count sort of like tomorrow as 6 days out. Some people do, some, but I don't even know how it works. I don't even count down the days, to be honest. I just find that creates anxiety, it just creates tension about the day, so I prefer just to enjoy every day and take it as it is. And I want to document this last week, because I think that it's something really important for me to sort of share the final bits of the prep, and then also share my transition into the off season. Like, I'm very excited to share my off season with you guys, alongside sharing this incredible opportunity that I've got coming up on starts on Thursday when I fly out. I can't begin to tell you how appreciative I am of the UK DFBA for this. Like, it overwhelmed me when I was called up by Lee, who runs the federation, with his partner Amy, and he sort of said, this is fully funded, mate. And I was like, are you joking? Are you serious? As I was literally standing outside Tesco in the pouring rain, and I was just like, are you off your nuts? Like, you're paying for all of this. He's like, yes, it's a funded trip. You're a funded athlete. The guys, I'm like 21 years old, and I'm getting paid to go to Boston. Speechless was my sort of initial response, and I still am, and I'm under the realization as to how lucky I am to be in this opportunity. And it comes with work, guys. It doesn't come easily, to get to this point. And actually, I've had a few consults with people recently, some junior bodybuilders, that have been like, well, my goal is to do what you've done. And I think that that's a superb goal to have, and I have no issues with any of them saying that whatsoever. But I do think that the way that I've shared it this year really should be a realization to people as to what it takes to do this. There's been plenty of times where I've thought, you know what, I really don't want to go and do this session. And that's in the moment. You think that in the moment, like, you don't want to go and do the session, like whether it be a heavy squat, heavy deadlift, whatever, something that's really neurologically taxing, and you're already tired, you're already run down, and then you have to cap it off by doing something like that that's really challenging yourself. It's hard to work up the mentality that's going to get you through those sessions. The biggest thing that I've taken home from this year is that you have to enjoy this shit a lot. You have to really seek for the enjoyment aspect of those sessions, the enjoyment aspect of pushing your body through boundaries that once you thought weren't really feasible to push through. Whether this sounds like a motivational speech or not, it's the simple fact that that's the truth. The people that don't make it to the stage, or the people that turn up, without the condition that they want, are simply the people that haven't found that mental fortitude to push through. That's really the reality of the situation, and it's the same that applies for the post-show window, when people simply splurge, binge, and gain back all the weight that they've lost throughout the prep. It's quite easily done. It's a case of mental fortitude, and it's a case of passion as well. In some instances, like the people that lose the passion for training and nutrition are the people that fall off the road. The people that are really passionate about what they do, and they have the long-term goal set in stone post-show, are the people that continue on with consistency. And that's what I hope to share, to be honest, guys, because I really, you can quite happily sort of like bring me up on this if I fail at the post-show period, but I don't see me fucking it up whatsoever, to be honest. Even with 2 weeks in the US, I've purposely chosen hotels with cooking services, like the ability to prep some of my own meals. Of course I'll be enjoying some meals out, because that's fucking normal post-show, but there's a fucking darn sight difference between going out and enjoying a meal versus going out and ordering 3 things off the menu, eating 2.5 of them, and going home and being sick. There's a big difference, a big fucking difference, not just in terms of the calories you're consuming. But anyway, I'm literally just off now. It's like I said, it's Saturday. I'm off to do my upper body session, which is actually one of the last sort of, decently full intensity sessions. My plan for sessions next week, I'm not training legs at all. My sessions will be push, pull, push before I go away. The first 2 will be pretty damn normal, if I'm honest. Just being sensible though, avoiding anything that, like, if I feel a niggle, I won't push it, things like that. I haven't really felt niggles at all, touch wood. And then push, pull, push, and then I fly out Thursday. I won't train at all Thursday, of course. Maybe when I arrive in the US, I'll do a walk or something to get myself moving and some nutrients moving after the flight. I imagine that will be something that I want to do, because I hate sitting down. So the idea of sitting down for the majority of Thursday, it's just a bit shit, to be honest, but that's the way it is, suck it up, Sally. And then Friday I'll definitely get in a pump session, which will be 1 day out, and then Saturday will be a show day. So it's a Saturday show day, which I haven't had actually all year, I don't think. No, I haven't had a Saturday show day in a long time, so that'll be cool. And then Sunday, the season will be done. Fucking crazy, ridiculous. It's come round so fast. It's come round like unreal fast. I told myself it would, and it really has. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Gonna drive the rest of the way to the gym, get my upper body session in, crush it, and then I'll check in with you later. Hey guys, what's up? So I thought I'd join you in the bottom of the screen with a black coffee, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to, as usual, voice over these clips with a little bit of informative content to give you rationale behind why I'm doing some of these things and talk through some of my training. So these clips were actually hella in a bad order. This was from my upper body session, which was literally yesterday. So this was good. This was a good upper body session. I must admit that one of the things that I have been experiencing at the moment is just that slight lack of motivation to train just before my sessions. Now, motivation for me is never really an issue. I'm usually absolutely buzzed to train. But the reality is, for me at this stage, it's like I've been retaining or maybe making slight progressions on some of my moves for so long that it feels like I just can't wait to just like make progress again, and actually like every single set be some form of progression, be it the way that I execute the movement or my numbers. However, this deadlift is actually like a mini prep PB. Like I don't do a lot of high rep deadlifts in my off season, but I will be doing, so I like them. My goal for the off season will be to deadlift 180 for 15. That's one of my big goals by the end of next year. So that's a whole year ahead. A whole year and, about 20 kilos each side and some body fat, I think will definitely be there, which would be cool. And I'll be interested to see how strong I can get in the lower rep ranges with this sort of technique. So essentially this sort of technique is definitely concentrating a lot on the eccentric. Making sure that I'm loading up on the eccentric, hitting the floor, and yes, I bounce, and that's something that I didn't do in the past, but I do find that I'm able to connect with my hamstrings, I'm able to connect with my actual, like my lower back musculature, my entire posterior chain, far better when I do quite continuous reps, as opposed to doing reps where I'm having to stop at the floor, reset, like sort of more powerlifting style. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, the reality is, if you're deadlifting in a safe manner, which means that you're not excessively introducing any sort of thoracic flexion, by that I mean, not thoracic, lumbar flexion, so that of the lower back as opposed to the upper. You can get away with a little bit of upper back flexion, so that'll be the thoracic flexion, but with the lumbar and the lower back, you do want to be careful as to how far that comes into flexion, primarily because we don't want excessive loading on the spine. That can lead to obviously lower back issues. So just monitor that as you will. In terms of what I'm doing here with the stance, guys, this was a more ham glute leg dominant day. This was actually my last sort of tough leg day of prep, and with the high and wide, you will, if you concentrate on loading these very accurately in that eccentric portion, you will feel these fucking light up your glutes. And you got to almost be careful with your loading and rep range, especially when you're lean and joints and tendons and ligaments are quite sort of pliable, and the ability for you to fuck shit up is quite high. Oh yeah, one sec, just whilst we're on the topic, thought I'd show you this clip to show that I'm not actually fucking Superman and that I'm not always right with my loading. So I hadn't hacked for a while. It's my only quad move for the day, besides obviously the high and wide leg press. And I put like 3 plates aside on that hack, and I got 2 reps, and I was like, nah, like there's no way I'm even getting 6 with this, so I had to drop it. So yeah, I'm not Superman, guys. Anyway, high and wide leg press. So yeah, you have to be a bit careful with your eccentric loading. The eccentric portion is very important to engage the glutes and hams on your high and wide leg presses. However, what I do deem as a bit important is that when you are a bit leaner, you be very careful, because things can ping quite easily when you haven't got that protective layer of body fat on board the ship, so to speak. Okay, so be very careful with that, and you know, that sort of brings into why we need to be just that little bit careful when we are sort of quite close to a show. Joints, ligaments, tendons are sort of in that less lubricated state. This is a superb movement. I'm really enjoying it. Post on my Instagram. Sort of looks like I'm, you know, making love to the V squat. But yeah, it's a great hamstring glute move. Obviously, we are working hip flexion, hip extension, and bringing the hamstring through a full stretch at the bottom. Ideally, introducing a little bit of a stretch at the actual bottom end of the range of motion, and then bringing up to the top by sort of flexing through, bringing the hips through, and also making sure. I think that in the future I would band that, like I've seen Jordan Peters do, like I've seen my buddy Callum do. And the reason for that, guys, is purely because you lose a little bit of tension in that machine, at that upper range where you are sort of engaging the glutes. You lose that tension. So yeah, something I look to be doing. This was my top set on the. It is a decline. It's a weird angle, but it is a decline. So that was 3 plates aside for I think 6 or 7. It was really, really tough. And this was my second top set, slightly higher rep range. Forgotten how many I got here because this was Monday. This was push. And my goal with these is simply to make them as hard as fucking possible. Like, literally. The reason why I want to make these as hard as possible, guys, is because you can quite easily rush through a set on a machine and just like bang, 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 bang. And then you'll get off the machine, and the first thing you should always ask yourself is, did I actually feel that in my chest? And I almost guarantee you, like 10 out of 10 times, if you rush through a top set, you will not activate pec fibers as well or as optimally as you can do when you concentrate on making something as hard as you humanly possibly can. Now, there is a borderline. So there's a borderline between controlling the eccentric too much and making it too hard for yourself and taking away from the overall loading of the exercise, over controlling the eccentric and having good, consistent reps. Now, this was 2 plates aside for, I think, 6.5 reps on the shoulder press, which is more so behind the neck. So I'm guessing from the way that I feel this, I think comparative to a more upright press, I'm feeling this a little bit more in my posterior deltoid, a little bit more. So bringing in more of the posterior delt, but obviously it's still mainly anterior deltoid that this is going to be sort of targeting. Now, obviously that was a to failure set, so that was a top set there, and I definitely probably over exaggerated my eccentrics on that day. I just felt like, you know, I controlled them a little bit too much, which is literally what I was just talking about. Now, chin-ups. These are going well at the moment. They're not progressing, but I'm maintaining them well with good contractions. I don't think that I will ever do something different as a first move on a back day or a pull day, apart from weighted narrow grip chins. I fucking love them. I don't feel anything more in my upper back than these. I just get such great contractions. You know, even at the stage in prep, right at the end, I'm still able to do sort of a 20 kilo plate for a top set of, I think I was 8 or 9 there that you just saw. So I was really happy with that. You know, that's gone superb. This machine is like a low row. Now the angle on this is okay. What I prefer the DY row, which actually starts higher, so it starts like up here, and you're pulling and contracting quite low. This is more of like, it's literally just right in front of you. It's very tough, so you can see I haven't really got much loading on there, but it's a superb move. Still, like when you extend, you fully, like, you basically, I round my shoulders just a little bit at the peak end of the eccentric, and then what I'll do is I'll retract my scapula, so that's chest out, shoulder blades together, and then I'll do all the rest of the motion with my elbows coming back. So round the shoulders at the end of the eccentric, chest out to retract the scapula, shoulder blades together, and then pull back with the elbows, and you will get great lat contractions on something like that. So this is like, I guess, really kind of a different step back row. So I've been seeing a lot of videos from, Joe Bennett to Jordan Peters, and I love them. I think they're superb. I think they're far better from the fact that, again, I talked in the last vlog about how the pad actually just destroys my sternum. So these are really, really good in terms of getting a nice stretch, nice contraction, and really, again, controlling that eccentric and getting a lot of force production through the lats. Key for activating your lats on these guys is really try and pull that elbow as close as you can to your body, and then tuck it in upon peak contraction. So as you can see there, hit failure point pretty much. So my failure point on them is not literally taking it to the point where I can't no longer get another rep. It's more so, okay, that was the last perfect rep that I could get, and that's it. That's when I, return the handle back to the start position and put the weight back. You saw just sort of a couple of seconds ago that my client and my friend Brad, it's been really nice to have Brad in Fits. He's changed gyms recently, so we got to chat a few times. He's actually, like I said, he's a client of mine, and also like a good mate now, consider him a good mate. So it's been nice to have him around, and he took some of my photos this week and took some of the footage for me for this vlog, so thank you, Brad. But yeah, I'm sure that we'll probably crack out a few sessions when, basically, at the moment I'm very, very focused on my sessions and sort of ticking the boxes. So anyway, Brad understands that, and other people understand that. Jack understood it as well. So it's nice for me at the moment just to get in, get it done, and when I'm recording this, I've only got like 3 more sessions on UK soil. So, and they're all going to be pretty normal, by the way, guys. They're all going to be pretty normal sessions. So I'm looking forward to sort of ticking those final boxes. And obviously we're coming to the end of the footage. Only a half an hour vlog. Only a half an hour vlog this time, guys. But I'll be releasing them, like I said, one will come out tomorrow, and every day, hopefully, leading up until next weekend. So you can expect 6 or 7 more episodes of Boston Bound as we lead into the World Finals. So guys, thanks for watching, and we'll speak soon. See you in a bit.